Hello you guys, and welcome back to another video. If this is your first time clicking on one of my videos, welcome. My name is Mary. I'm 26. I'm an American, but I live in Edinburgh, and I am turning 27 in just under 4 months, and I've decided to completely change my entire life. I just wanted to give a little intro for this vlog before I hop in, because this vlog was not filmed linearly. It was filmed like a bit here, a bit there, a bit there, and it's organized, again, just not in a chronological way in this video. So I wanted to give an introduction so you know what I'm talking about. If you follow me on other platforms, you may have listened to this podcast episode or read this Substack post all about my road to 27. But if you haven't listened to that or read that, here's what I'm doing. I turned 27 in just under 4 months, and I have come to the realization, I don't want to turn another year older without doing some of the things that I've just thought, oh, I'll get around to that eventually. Like, there are ways in which I want to change my life that I've just had in the back of my head, thinking like, one day I'll do that. One day I'll have that. And as I approach 27, I've realized that no one is coming to do these things for me. So if I want to make changes, I kind of just have to start, which sounds very obvious, but it came as news to me. So that's what this vlog is about, and that's what a lot of my content between now and my 27th birthday is about, like this journey that I'm on. So there's a couple different categories. There's several goals that I have, and again, they're listed out like in the podcast and on that Substack post. I want to gain 2 pounds of muscle and be able to do 1 push-up. Transparently, I gained about 10 pounds after I moved to the UK, which is partly because of some ongoing health issues that I've had, which I've talked to you guys about loads before on this channel. I do want to lose the weight that I've gained since moving, but I didn't want to center a fitness goal around like a goal weight or, you know, a number of pounds that I wanted to lose, because I didn't think that would be productive for me personally. So instead, I've decided I want to put on 2 pounds of muscle, because that's going to affect my fitness routine and my fitness life. But also, you can't gain muscle unless you're eating well, you get enough protein, you're eating enough. So I think that's a good goal because it just encompasses a lot of things. I'm also not ordering any deliveries during the week, and I'm eating food at home. After I moved to the UK, one, it just took forever for our stuff from the US to get here. So for a while I had like no kitchen supplies. And then 2, you just get so out of whack with like a big move like that. And it takes time to stock a pantry, and it takes time again to like buy forks and knives and then pots and pans and like build a kitchen, that I just got into this really bad habit of ordering out all the time. But now I've been living here for nearly a year, which is crazy, and I still have this bad like Deliveroo habit, and that's so expensive. Like, I did the math on how much I've spent on getting takeaways since the start of the year, and it was just a number that I did not want to spend. So that's also part of that, of like my health goal. I also have the goal of figuring out what's going on with my health, so which is why I started working with my naturopathic doctor, and I do that in this vlog as well. I want to start writing again. I have a couple career goals, but the biggest one is I want to start writing again. I used to be a writer and editor before influencing was my full-time career, and I just like thinking long-term about where I want to be in 10 years, 20 years. I want to start writing again. So that's a goal. I will link the podcast episode and the Substack article in the description box if you care to learn more about these goals in depth. But basically, the road to 27, personal journey that I'm on. And this vlog is all about different things that I'm doing to help me along that journey. But again, I filmed it kind of sporadically, so I thought I needed to give you like a clear intro. I hope that you enjoy it. I've had a lot of messages and comments from you guys since I started talking about this on my other channels, saying it has inspired you to set some own goals for yourself before your next birthday, which I think is so fun. I always like say, you don't have to wait for the start of a year, start of a month, the start of a week. You don't have to wait for like these things in order to make a change in your life. Like, you can start whenever. I decided literally on a random day in March that I was going to change my life for the next 4 months. So what this series and what these goals mean to me is just a recognition of, you know, no one's coming to do it for me. If I want something in my life, if I want to be a writer 10 years from now, that's not gonna fall into my lap. I have to actually like make changes and work towards that. It's the same thing with everything in life. So with all that being said, I'm gonna get into this video. I hope that you enjoy it. Love you. Okay, note from the editor, somehow a big like 16-minute clip of footage has disappeared. It's like gotten deleted from my SD card and from the computer. I have no idea where it is. To give context for this clip coming up, the clip that got deleted was of me heading to a new gym and talking about getting a new gym membership and talking about the fitness goal. But I already told you in the intro, it's the 2 pounds of muscle, the push-up, the not ordering takeaways during the week, all of that. Don't know where that clip went. The clip you're about to watch is me leaving the gym. So weird. Oh, if it gave me 40, you're definitely more than 40.
I know, I was laughing. I was like, I'll be 102.
No, okay, so I didn't film anything in there because the gym was just packed. There was no way to film without filming strangers. We did end up getting a membership. I did the primary membership, and then I was able to add Matt, and we both booked personal training sessions. Like, when you get a membership, you get 3 free personal training sessions. We both booked one for Friday. Try to get into yoga on Saturday. We did not work out now just because, honestly, you guys, I'm beat. I had a travel day today. It was just so packed. But I did do the like fancy scale that tracks like everything, and I got all my stats, and it told me my metabolic age was literally 40 years old. Don't laugh! So I'll tell you, let's see, bio age thing that it measures. I'll read out what it's measuring. Stop laughing.
Sorry.
I can't see anything. You focus on the road.
Trying.
The bio age represents the current health and performance. It's the average of the strength, flexibility, metabolism, and cardio. Normal values match with the real age, and the younger the bio age is, the better. The best value is 21. Like the machine I stood on, like sends pulses through your feet, and then you have to hold on to these metal bars, and it scanned each limb individually. And I'll be so honest, I'm not 100% sure how it works, but every gym, like nice gym I've gone to, has one of these things. What does it do? Does it send out like?
It sends some sort of electricity through your body. It's able to determine time between it sending it off and versus it reaching.
Because it'll probably go through fat differently than muscle, differently than bone.
Exactly. So that's I think how it does it. So it sends it all around your body, and then as it comes back, it records the time it takes, and then gets an idea of what kind of build-up of different tissues and muscle and fat and everything that's in your body is kind of made up of.
It even told me my total body water, my extracellular water, my intracellular water, my total body water percent, body fat mass, muscle mass, weight, body fat percentage, body lean mass. Like it gave me a lot of stats. All that matters is that it's a benchmark and I can track my progress. Anyway, I turned the vlog back on to tell you guys what my muscle mass is. So it's 47.3 kgs of muscle, but I think in pounds, so I'm gonna do a quick conversion. I currently have 104 pounds of muscle in my body, 104.06, so let's just call it 104 even. So by the time I turn 27, I want to have at least 106 pounds of muscle. My highest muscle ever was, what did I say, 111, 113 or something? Look at the sun. The sunlight is crazy. Yes, by the time I turn 27, I am going to have over 106, minimum 106 pounds of muscle. It also told me I was dehydrated. My water levels were low, so that's good to know. And now we're gonna go home to the puppy. It's 7:30. We were actually there for way longer than I thought, because we did the tour and then we sat down with someone to go over all the different membership options.
Quite a big facility to us.
It is. I wouldn't have even wanted to stay for a workout anyway at this point.
I'm just filming you as your first PT session of your road to 27. This is the before. I just want to get an angle on the before.
Stop.
No sweat.
Oh, before of the session. I thought you meant like before my transformation. I was like, that's so mean.
No. Then also figure out like what your first impression is of a personal trainer, because I feel like you've never done it, yeah.
Got my Element electrolytes, Armor Colostrum, Aloe sneakers.
Oh.
The socks are a weird length.
I actually like longer ankle socks.
437 set.
437. Don't know what any of this means, but looks great on you.
I just put some scalp serum in my hair. You ready to go?
Yeah, I am.
My headphones aren't charged, but I guess if it's with a personal trainer, I won't.
No, you're not going to be wearing them anyways. I'll be chatting to you.
Okay.
Alright.
They're mean to me. I booked a woman. I was like looking at the schedule of available personal trainers, and I was like, there's no way in hell I'm booking with a man. Absolutely not. I cannot work out in front of a man. So as you guys know, I had a very slow and cozy start to the year, but it's officially spring, the weather's getting better. I've started this Road to 27 series. I'm really working on all of my goals for the year now. I know I've mentioned before that I wanted to sort of wait to kick off my New Year's resolutions until the start of spring. So I'm definitely a lot busier and a lot more stressed than I have been in the past couple of months. Also, the weather in Edinburgh is finally getting nice, which means there's more social plans, more invitations, more hangouts with friends. There's just a lot going on. Like, I am booked and busy. I think this has all brought up definitely a lot of stress, and also these feelings of needing to do well, sometimes needing to be perfect. And I think a lot of people feel this stress in the spring, and especially in the summer as well, where you just feel like you need to make the most of it. You gotta make the most of the weather. You kind of have to get yourself in gear in the spring. It's also definitely a time of transition and change, and that means working on myself and trying to be better and trying to do better. One way that I work on that all the time is through therapy. I have been in therapy off and on for the last 10 years, but consistently since January of 2023. I can genuinely say therapy has saved my life on multiple occasions. I would not be sitting here talking to you guys right now if it wasn't for my wonderful therapist and all the therapists I've ever had and ever spoken to. I know from experience, from 10 years of experience, that one of the most difficult parts to starting therapy is not knowing where to start, not knowing how to find a therapist. And that is where today's paid partner, BetterHelp, comes in handy. I personally used BetterHelp services, so I know exactly the process involved with signing up and starting a therapist. It truly is very, very simple. The majority of BetterHelp members are using the platform to seek help for anxiety. And 69% of BetterHelp members report improved anxiety symptoms within 6 weeks of starting therapy on the platform. That's just one of the many, many reasons that therapy is so beneficial. But in truth, I know I've said this before, I think everybody could benefit from a therapist at one point. You don't have to have a diagnosed condition in order to benefit from therapy, whether you're going through something difficult in life, whether you feel like your anxiety or your depression is more circumstance-based, or whether you've struggled with it your entire life. I truly think everyone can benefit from therapy, and I know I have. Like, I wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for therapy. It's very easy to get started. All you have to do is fill out an online questionnaire, and BetterHelp will connect you to a therapist. And it's also easy to change therapists, which is something I really appreciate, because successful therapy hinges on, in addition to like doing the work, having a productive and trusting relationship with a therapist. If you're not vibing with your therapist, it's going to be really hard to be vulnerable with them. So sometimes you have to shop around to find the right fit. I know I have done that many times. BetterHelp makes it very easy to do this, and you can also start today. You can sign up for the platform and get connected to a therapist right now. I'll put the link on the screen, and I'll also put it in the description box. If you follow that link, you can get 10% off your first month of therapy. And I'm very proud to be partnered with BetterHelp because I've used the platform. Therapy has changed my life, and as you guys know, I talk about my mental health very candidly with you. It does affect my day-to-day, so therapy is a massive part of my life. If you are struggling with something, you don't have to go through it alone. Hello, you guys. I just left the Stockbridge clinic because I had a laser genesis facial for my rosacea. This is part of the road to 27. I've been wanting to do more to address the redness I have in my face because of rosacea for years. I'll put some pictures on screen of what my skin used to look like when my rosacea was at its worst. Honestly, if you ever struggled with skin issues, you know, like, it ruined my confidence at the time. I thought about it constantly, and I have worked so hard over the past several years to get my skin to the point it is now, where I feel like my rosacea is well under control, but I still had redness, so that was on my list of things. So I just had my first laser genesis facial. I went in wanting IPL, but after my consultation, they recommended laser genesis. What I like about it already is that there's no downtime. There's literally no healing time or downtime. It was like a laser, so they did put a very heavy SPF on me before I left. Yeah, literally no downtime at all. He was like, you could work out, you could put on makeup. They obviously caution against the sun. I already feel pretty glowy. I took some before pictures. Just immediately after the treatment, my skin is no more red than it usually is, and it didn't hurt at all. It just felt like warm. So I'm happy about that. I find myself now in Stockbridge on a sunny afternoon. So guys, I hate to say it, I think I'm gonna go shopping. I don't have too much time because Matt and Fergus and I are actually meeting up with some friends at a park this evening just to enjoy the weather, and there's stuff I need to get done before then. I just feel like the weather's so nice. I can't be in Stockbridge and not go to some of my favorite shops while I'm here, so I'm gonna go. Yeah, you can kind of see, I don't know if you can tell, I really, really liked the clinic, and I think I've found my place for Botox here now as well. I feel like the sun is just not in the right place for me to be vlogging, and I know it's so loud outside, you guys. I'm gonna go on a side street where it's quieter so I can talk to you. Okay, so I also asked some questions about Botox along my hairline for scalp sweating for hyperhidrosis, and I also asked some questions about like PRP under the eyes, just loads of questions. I have found since moving, it is a little bit harder to find injectors or people who do medical and cosmetic aesthetics, medical skincare and things like that, like medical dermatology and things. Harder to find because in the UK, you can literally do like an online course in an afternoon and then inject filler into people's faces. So it is hard to find somebody who is just extremely knowledgeable, and the second I walked in there, I was like, this guy knows what he's talking about. I love when someone talks to me about the anatomy of my face. They did a skin scan, so he showed me like the level of sun damage I have in my skin. I was able to see more of like the redness. They put an SPF on me. I should probably get out of the sun. Yeah, I really enjoyed that experience, and I definitely think I found my clinic here. And also they were just so nice. I love Keston, so I'm gonna go in there just while I'm here. Good morning, you guys. Matthew is driving me to a session with my naturopathic doctor. I should be getting some of my test results back this session. So last time we had a session, she ordered a bunch of tests for me. I did a stool test, I did a blood test, and these are testing for, I think mainly this round was testing for food sensitivities and also for just like the overall health of my GI tract to see if I To be honest, I don't want to say the wrong thing, so I'm not going to describe it. But yes, we've tested my entire GI tract, and I've done a blood panel, and we're looking for food sensitivities, digestive issues. I might be getting a answer to the gluten question today. I know I told you guys in a previous vlog that there's a potential I might have a gluten sensitivity. So I'm not sure which results I'm getting back today. I mean, I'm hoping I'm getting some. It's been a couple of weeks, I think. Either way, I see the doctor once a month, and I do have some positive updates to give her. She prescribed me a ton of supplements last time for my allergies. She thinks that I have very highly elevated histamine levels. I don't know if I've ever told you guys this, but when I was a kid, I used to have chronic hives really, really badly. And there was this one period when I was around 11 or 12 years old where I got hives every single day for 6 straight months. My body was covered in hives for 6 months. And my parents took me to the doctor, which is unusual because we didn't go to a real doctor very often growing up, only if something was seriously wrong. But my mom couldn't treat my hives with her normal remedies, so went to the doctor, and the doctor was not helpful. They just said oh, she has chronic hives, just give her Benadryl every day. So I was then on a non-drowsy antihistamine every single day for 6 months while we tried to get the hives under control. It was crazy. Anyway, I told that story to the doctor, and then I also talked to her about all the period problems I had when I was growing up, and I had no idea that there was a link between histamine level and the health of your menstrual cycle and of your entire reproductive system. So I learned a lot about that last time, and I want to ask her more questions about this now. And it's funny, ever since she and I talked about that last time, I've started getting some stuff come across my For You page of people talking about how there's a link between their own elevated histamine and their PCOS. And I don't think I have PCOS because well, I guess I shouldn't say because I actually don't know. But I thought it was interesting. Ever since we talked about that, I have seen a bunch of people talk about histamine and PCOS. So it's just kind of interesting. I never would have thought to think about my histamine levels. I know I've always had bad allergies, but I guess this is why you go to a doctor, to figure all these things out, because they know things that you don't know because they went to school for it. She prescribed me a bunch of supplements for regulating my histamine, and then she also told me to start taking evening primrose oil supplements for my period cramps. And I've been taking those capsules from day 14 of my cycle onward. So you know how day 1 of your cycle is the first day of your period? I've been taking them from day 14 until the end of my cycle, and I have to say, it's been, I think, 2 cycles now since I started doing that. And I just feel with these things, is it really helping? Are you convincing yourself it's helping? Is it a placebo? Who knows? I have done a little bit of reading about evening primrose and period cramps, but I have to say the last 2 months my period has been way smoother, way easier, way less painful. And I also have felt less clinically insane during my luteal phase. So, only good things to say about my experience with this doctor so far, and I'm really curious to hear what these test results are going to tell me. Really hoping, fingers crossed, that gluten has nothing to do with anything. My sister has a a severe gluten intolerance, and so she was talking to me when I was home about how the first year was really, really hard, but it's been a decade now and it's actually really great. And she was just giving me some encouragement because obviously the thought of needing to minimize gluten in your life is very intimidating. I know we're bouncing around all over the place in the car. It's because we're driving on cobblestones. Anyway, I'm about to head into that session, and I'm excited because this also fits very much in my changing my life before I turn 27 thing that I'm doing right now, because I've been finding it so helpful to just investigate all of these health things that I've been dealing with. I feel when you're a woman, you just get told constantly to suck it up, and no one takes your discomfort or your pain or your symptoms seriously ever, and you have to advocate for yourself. But if you're young or you have insecurities or you feel maybe you're being dramatic and people tell you you're being dramatic, you can't do that. Anyway, now I find myself entering my late 20s, kind of advocating for myself and just taking myself seriously and not letting anyone, whether it's people online in my comment sections or just anyone, tell me, no, you're being dramatic. I'm no, something's not right.
You gotta jump out here.
I have to jump out here. Okay.
Love you. Have a good time.
I'm gonna have a good time in that sauna afterwards. Okay, so a lot more things came up on my story stool test than I was expecting, and I think more things than she was expecting, which on one hand is really validating because yeah, things are wrong. Like things are legitimately wrong. So that's really good to know. It's very validating. It's very like reassuring that I wasn't crazy, I wasn't making it up. And she actually told me that in the session. She was like, I believed you before, of course, but like seeing your results, I believe you like even more. But it was more than I thought, but it's fine because we're gonna work on it and we're gonna fix it. And these are all things that you can like get better from, you know what I mean? Things I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to change my diet. I'll talk to you guys about that more when I'm home. A few more food sensitivities than I thought. Now that I have, you know, tested positive for these sensitivities, now we're gonna remove the foods for 3 months and then document how I'm doing. Obviously the best way to know if you shouldn't be eating a food is to remove it and then see if you feel better, and then eat it and see if you feel worse. So now that I've tested for these sensitivities, I'm gonna do that. It is more things than I thought, and yeah, a lot more showed up on that panel than I thought, and some of them were not great. Some of them really weren't great, but all of them treatable. Okay, I wanted to give you an update on the doctor's appointment. I also just filmed the introduction to this video, if this all looks very familiar. In the clips where I was going to the doctor and then leaving, I talked to you about how more came up on my test than I had previously thought. So I thought I would go over just a couple different things. The two biggest things, like big life changes that I have found out I need to make. I need to cut out gluten, and I have a sensitivity to casein as well. So casein is a protein that's found in dairy products, and then gluten is gluten. And I have a sensitivity to both of those things. Unfortunately, I can't even tell you that I'm surprised. My older sister has a really bad gluten intolerance, like hasn't eaten it in a decade, cannot eat even a trace amount of gluten without being violently ill. My mom can only eat gluten like once a week or so she has a sensitivity as well. And then a lot of people in my family have dairy problems. As you guys know, I grew up vegan, so it wasn't until like a lot of my siblings grew up and moved out and stopped being vegan and like started eating a lot of dairy that we kind of realized a lot of us have problems. I think I always assumed it would be lactose, but according to my results, it's actually casein. That was like a really hard pill for me to swallow because I love gluten, I love dairy, I love eating gluten, I love wheat, I love gluten products, I love things that have been processed in factories that may contain gluten, like love it. That being said, I do feel not healthy. Like I do feel not myself and very ill, and like I've been listening to you guys and reading a lot of stories of people just saying like, you know, I didn't want to stop eating gluten, but then I did, and that I started feeling amazing. So I'm like, well, it can't, you know, it can't hurt. Part of me like doesn't want to believe that this is true, but then part of me is like, well, you know, if this is gonna make you feel better and not sick all the time, of course I'm gonna do it. Now, that being said, I have given myself like some breathing room. So I decided I was gonna wait until the start of May to go gluten-free because one, I wanted some time to like enjoy all my favorite foods one more time before I cut it out. And then two, Matt and I actually have a trip next week, and I didn't want to be really worried and stressed about eating on the trip when I'm super new to being gluten-free. Yeah, and then just be worried about it. So I'm gonna take my digestive enzymes and it's gonna be fine. But then when I get back from that trip, I know I just have to commit. So like the plan at the moment is I need to cut out some foods that I'm sensitive to for a couple of months and then see where I'm at. And then I also told you guys about how there's some other things that came up on my test that I was really not expecting. And on the one hand, it's so validating to know that I wasn't crazy, I wasn't making this up. You know, something is actually wrong. My body is actually not doing well. This is not all in my head. So it's been very validating to learn that. It is also hard to learn that, you know, things aren't working properly and you're gonna have to treat things. There's one thing that I'm gonna get a second opinion on, and then there's one more test I have to do, and then there's some, yeah, just like some treatment things. And I think I'll probably tell you guys more about that as this all unfolds. There's like, again, one thing I wanna get a second opinion on, and then also I just need to like learn about these things a little bit more. Like there's one thing that I never even heard of before, so I just don't know a lot about it. This sounds very dramatic, and it probably sounds that way because I'm being dramatic, because I mean, it's my health. I do just wanna clarify, I'm okay, like I'm not dying, there's no emergencies happening or anything, but I do have to take it seriously and I do have to make changes. So like I said, it's like good to know I wasn't making it up, good to know I wasn't crazy. It's better to know and you can take steps to address issues than it is to just like live in ignorance and continue to feel sick and maybe even get worse. And I'm just really hopeful that if I do these things that I feel better, because I've really been struggling and it's been affecting everything in my life. It's been affecting my work, it's been affecting my relationships, and I just want to feel better. So yeah, that's how this is going. we're back in the car. I feel like so much of this video is me in the car. On the go recently. On the go. We're headed to a grocery store now to do a little shopping. One, we just need food for the week, but then two, as you will have seen in a previous clip, I found out that I need to stop eating gluten, and I also have a casein sensitivity, and I have a couple other like random food sensitivities. And so I'm not going to fully like commit to cutting out gluten until the start of May, because Matt and I have a trip next week and I don't want to be thinking about it while I'm on the trip. I'm gonna take my like gluten digestive enzymes with me, but I just don't want to be worried about it on the trip. And then I also want to give myself time to like enjoy all my favorite foods before cutting them out. And then I have to cut them out completely for 3 months, and then we sort of reassess and like we do like the GI testing and stuff again to kind of see if I'm doing better. I have a ton of inflammation in my body, and a lot of it is caused from eating gluten and casein when I have sensitivities to them. I thought I had a lactose sensitivity, but it's actually casein. I'm not fully committing to not eating gluten at the moment, but I thought in the meantime, while I'm preparing to go like cold turkey, I want to start browsing around the grocery store and just kind of seeing like what the alternative options are. A lot of people have given me the advice that instead of focusing on like gluten replacements, I should focus on eating foods that are naturally gluten-free, because a lot of gluten replacements just aren't that good. I will do that, but I also just want to see what's out there when it comes to gluten replacements, because obviously Matt is still going to be eating gluten. So if it's something like we're making pasta and he's having regular spaghetti, I want to know that there's like a good gluten-free option for me. So I'm just gonna see, I'm gonna start trying some brands, and hopefully I'm gonna find like a couple of things that I really like. A lot of you guys have also told me that living in the UK makes this a lot easier, and that there are better gluten-free replacements in the UK than in the US, and that it's easier in the UK. So I'm feeling pretty grateful for that. And I also have gotten some brand recommendations from you guys of things that are really good. And I figured a Waitrose would be the best bet, because a Waitrose is like a bougie grocery store for my American girls. It's not quite a Whole Foods. I wouldn't say it's as good as a Whole Foods. I would kind of compare it to maybe a Fresh Market. What do you think?
I think Waitrose is pretty close to a Whole Foods. I think Whole Foods is another level. I think it is the best replica that we've got, at least I think, as like a chain, a brand.
There are some Whole Foods in the UK, because I'm pretty sure there's a Whole Foods in London. I would love it if Whole Foods came to Edinburgh. I would not say that Waitrose is on that level, but I would say it's the closest big chain grocery store that you can easily find here. And then you can go to stores like Holland and Barrett, which are specialized health food stores. So between Holland and Barrett and Waitrose, you can get pretty close. But I figured this will be my best bet for finding really good like coconut yogurt and gluten-free pasta. I'm gonna have to start really eating a lot of spaghetti squash, I guess.
It's also like trying to figure out pretty much alternatives to what dishes we already eat normally. I guess something that you consume a lot of at the moment is also like cottage cheese. Is there an alternative? Is it possible? I don't know.
And then also, as someone who really doesn't like to cook,
cheese in general,
I hate vegan cheeses. And I know people are gonna say, oh, try this brand, try this brand. You guys, I'm a veteran. I was raised vegan. I still don't like vegan cheese. And it's not necessarily that vegan cheeses taste bad, because there are good brands out there. It's that they aren't good replicas. And I think this is where me and my mom disagree about this a lot, because she's like, look at this brand tastes so good, this type tastes so good. I'm like, I'm not saying it tastes bad, I'm saying it doesn't taste like cheese. You know, there's just a big difference, and when it comes to cheese, I just can't. I do like soy yogurt, I like coconut yogurt, but there is something just undupable about cheese.
No substitute.
No substitute.
What?
Carrot cake is my favorite cake ever, and I was worried that I would never have it again. Gluten-free, milk-free, 4 carrot cake slices. Okay, so we'll try some breads. The gluten-free bread I got last week was horrible.
It doesn't even say there's brioche there.
I know, there's actually a lot of options. Look at this. This actually looks really good.
Is that tiger bread? Yeah, love tiger bread.
There's brioche buns. Is there not? Flatbread.
Okay.
And also like little scotch pancakes. There's actually so much here, which is so nice. This makes me feel a lot better. Like, this is a huge gluten-free section. I got 2 black bean burgers, so maybe I'll get gluten-free brioche burger buns.
Yeah, I think you should try them.
Okay, so we just got back from Waitrose. Had a pretty good gluten-free selection of breads and things. They didn't have a lot of dairy-free stuff in the refrigerated aisle. The free from section was big and it was good. Yeah, there was only one brand of dairy-free yogurt and it was the coconut collab. Again, I don't know if that's all Waitrose or just that location or what, but I did get a protein coconut collab and then I got a vanilla coconut collab. I love coconut yogurt, so I feel great about that. You guys know how I feel about dairy-free cheeses, and I've already had this brand and I didn't like it last time, but I'm gonna try it again. This is the Violife, and I've got the slices because I eat a ton of sandwiches, and then I actually have not tried the cream cheese. I remember not liking these and not liking the Violife shreds, but we'll see. Oh, battery's dying, gotta do this fast. I got 2 gluten-free pastas to just keep in the pantry and use when needed. 2 breads, burger bun, and a loaf. This loaf actually feels very promising. It looks and feels in the bag exactly like regular bread, so we'll see. And then I did get the carrot cake. When I found out I needed to limit gluten, my mind went to carrot cake because I love carrot cake. It's my favorite dessert ever. So I just wasn't sure if I'd ever have it again. So hopefully this tastes good. And then I also just got Matt and I got lentil chips and hummus chips to just have like a little snack in the pantry. And then last thing I got was crackers, gluten-free crackers. So this is quite a big haul. I wouldn't normally get this many things in like a weekly food shop because I won't eat like 2 bags of pasta this week. But I just figured it's nice to have, and at the moment when I'm trying to find out the brands I like and what tastes good, I just wanted to experiment. So hopefully we have some winners here, and if not, I'm gonna try M&S. I'm getting ready to leave my house right now because I'm interviewing the author Tigist Girma on the Edinburgh stop of her UK book tour in like 45 minutes. Need to walk down to the Waterstones. I went for like a smart casual. Here's the outfit: blazer, jeans, boots, got a big bag. I'm excited. Hi, my name's Mary. I'm so excited to be here tonight. How are we all enjoying this very suspiciously nice Edinburgh weather? But thank you so much for coming and chatting to us today. Good morning, you guys. Another day, same filming location, because this is one of the very few spots in this house that gets good natural light. I'm not even sitting down right now. I'm in a squat. I'm working on the writing portion of my goals again today. I know you just saw me with the author interview. Today I'm going to the gym right now. I'm filming that in a different vlog, next week's vlog. But I'm gonna stick around after the gym and go to one of the members only spaces and do some writing and just work on my writing. I'm gonna have a look at writing classes online I could enroll in, or maybe writing group. I think it would be helpful at this point to be in a group where you can like get feedback and also learn. Maybe I'm just missing that sort of collegiate experience where you do the round tables and you all get better. I'm gonna have a look. I don't know of any, like I have nothing in mind. It would need to be online because I don't know if there's one local. I genuinely have no idea. I'm doing research on that. I'm also gonna get some writing done. I was very proud of myself last week because I published another Substack post that I had been thinking about for a while, so that was great. And I think this is the last thing I'm filming for this vlog. So this is now, I think, the 3rd or the 4th week that I've been doing the Road to 27 journey personally. Hope you guys aren't sick of seeing content about it yet because we still have 3 more months to go. But I would say this has been really good. I think it's good to have very clear, concise, actionable goals that you can work on. So instead of saying like, oh, I want to have a fitness journey or I want to exercise more, like having an actual goal that I want to hit has been very helpful because there's like a benchmark that you can actually measure your progress by. And I find that way more motivating than some sort of vague like, oh, I want to work out more, or oh, I want to write more. It's like, no, I want to write every single week. I want to do these specific things. So that's been very helpful for me. I've gotten a lot of really great feedback from you guys on me sharing this series because, according to you, a lot of you all have been feeling inspired to start your own Road to series. Some of it is based around age, some of it has just been based on other important things in your life. I had someone tell me that they're having a baby soon and there's different things they want to accomplish for having their baby, which was such a cool thing to hear. So I'm glad you guys are loving it. And I think this is actually the last thing I'm filming for the vlog. And again, I know this vlog was like filmed very all over the place, so I don't know if this is the last section in the vlog. I just know it's the last thing I'm filming. I have to work out first, but come with me to go do that.